Hey guys, Thrasher here. We have our final balance change previews and we have some early vjump leaks. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so first up, before we talk about the vjump leaks or the balance changes themselves, we do have maintenance tonight, which means that we're going to get these balance changes tomorrow. We're also getting some new story mode and a couple other small things. Now let's jump through the balance changes and then we'll talk about the vjump leaks. So first up is our fourth of the 5 EX balance changes that we're going to get. It's this guy right here. The Demon King Piccolo means that the regeneration team is also going to be very powerful in Legends Battle Royal. I think there's a lot of very good options for regeneration in general. With the stat buffs from this guy, I think they're going to be able to do a ton of damage. Let's roll through this guy real quick. So EX Demon King Piccolo Purple gets an overall stat buff. Like we said before, they're all going to get huge stat buffs. He has Z ability Purple buff strength will be increased from limit break 5-star on. So when you get him to 5 stars or above, he's going to get a huge buff to Purple beyond what he had before. And then new unique ability, Team 2 Allies Blast Attack Up. Buffs blast damage when all battle members remain. So one of the great things about regen in general is that they're an outlast team that just keeps healing and doesn't die. So as long as the entire team's alive, he gets a huge buff to his damage. That's awesome. Like I said, it probably means the regen team in general should be able to do fairly well in the Legends Battle Royal. Now let's move on to the next character, which is a Sparking, which is this guy. A lot of people thought he was going to get a buff and he badly needed it. So the Sparking Super Saiyan Goku Yellow, overall stat buff, Z ability Yellow buff strength increase from limit break 5 stars on. So he's another character that's going to get a large increase to his Z ability, but it's one color only, just like the Demon King Piccolo that we just looked at. A little unfortunate. I would like a secondary tag that they actually buff so they're a little more viable. But with his overall stat buff and the other change we're about to read here, I think there's a good chance that he is still usable on a few different teams. So Viral Heart Disease now activates 15 counts after battle start. So the damage that he takes every single time he uses an arts card won't happen until 15 counts into the battle. You're going to use him the same way you used to, where he's a rush down character. You throw him in as soon as the game starts and you try to do as much damage with him as quickly as possible. And then you cancel enemy attribute upgrades when Goku is KO'd. So when this Goku dies, it'll get rid of any upgrades that your opponent has. So one of the positives here is, let's say you are beating your opponent, this Goku's not dead yet, your opponent is running Sun Family, he's got just the Gohan left, the Father-Son Kamehameha Gohan, who's got insane buffs at this point. You bring this Goku out, you let him die, and that gets rid of all of Gohan's buffs, and then you just tear Gohan up. That's very powerful. Let's move on to the next character, which is another extreme, our 5th and final one. It is the Turles Green. He's going to get that huge overall stat buff. He is another unit that is a monocolor boost to their Z ability green buff strength increase from limit break 5 stars on. Little unfortunate, like I said, I'd like to see a tag, oh well. And then new unique ability, innate power, inflicted damage up, increases damage after a certain number of counts from battle start, and more. He seems like he's probably going to be a good unit. I don't know how usable he'll be in the Legends Battle Royal because I think there's a lot of teams that have viability. I don't know if he's going to be on a team that really does. We'll have to see. And then I don't see him getting used much in actual regular PvP, just because there's many better options than him and he doesn't really buff a single tag, he just buffs a color. Oh well, let's move on to the next unit. And that is this guy right here that everyone's been hoping for a long time. There's a couple huge things going on with this guy, so let's read through them. Sparking Vegeta Purple, the OG, the original beast, gets a huge overall stat buff that he badly needed. His damage was lackluster. He's always been a glass cannon, which is fine as long as he can pump out some real damage. He just couldn't before. And then his Z ability buffs Frieza Force, which is nice. We're obviously getting huge buffs to Frieza Force in general. Frieza Force is probably going to be truly PvP meta viable after this patch. We'll have to see. Limit break from 5-star on. And then here is the huge one if you ask me. Anti-Super Warrior Blast Attack Up. So he's going to get a huge buff to his Blast Attack against Super Warriors. It also affects Sun Family. So the Sun Family teams that are running rampant right now, this guy should be able to do a ton of damage to them. And the new unique ability, Strength of the Super Elite, buffs Blast Attack. So he's getting Blast Attack up against Super Warriors and against Sun Family, and then he's getting another Blast Attack up just in general. So this unit should be able to do a ton of damage. Hopefully he gets enough of a stat buff that he's not a super glass cannon. We always expected that. He was always a unit that could pretty much be killed in 2 combos, but we want to make sure that he's not a unit that gets one comboed by absolutely everybody. So hopefully he gets a nice health buff and a reasonable defense buff, and then obviously he needs a big damage buff because he is the original glass cannon of the game. So those are the buffs that we're going to be getting to these characters tomorrow. That'll pop up. We'll get the new story mode, like I said. And the other thing we need to talk about are their vjump leaks. So we don't have the vjump scans yet. We'll probably have those tomorrow, I would assume. But we have a couple leaks. We're getting 3 new characters. We're getting androids 13, 15, and then we're getting another Super Saiyan Vegeta, the one that actually fought against the Android 13, but he's a transforming Saiyan, so I think he'll probably start in his initial state, so base form, and then he will transform into Super Saiyan the same way Shallot can transform and other characters like that that have transforming mechanics. So that's pretty cool. I'll have more on that when we actually get the scans. We'll run through it fully, and that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys think I missed anything, throw it down below. If you guys are excited for the Frieza Force like I am, let me know that too. I think that team's going to be awesome, and if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.